Hey there, welcome to ATL and 29, a podcast that looks at the NBA from the starting point of Atlanta. My name is Kevin Chouinard. I'm here with Glen Willis and Tyler Jones, the latter of whom was in the building tonight. Tyler, what'd you think of this game?
I mean, I'm exhausted. It was a fun game, but I am exhausted right now. It was a fun environment. I don't know how it sounded on TV, but in arena, it was just electric the whole game. Like the crowds were super animated. You take the win overall. I just thought if you're a Hawks player, you're probably a little frustrated that you let the game be that close when you're getting so many easy paint touches and you're just not finishing, at the rim. That I'm pretty sure they're collectively just frustrated as a team there that they didn't, finish their plate, to pull the game away. But overall, I thought they played well. They played a lot better. They're continuing to build. Like game two was better, particularly in the fourth quarter, and then same here in game three, where offensively they were much better for the majority of the game until the fourth quarter. We can talk about some of their flaws in the fourth, but defensively, I mean, it's just nails. Like it's just nails. The Knicks cannot get into their offense. Dyson Daniels doesn't allow for Jalen Brunson to run the offense. Like he just doesn't. It Jalen Brunson's taking 7 seconds to get the ball up the floor every possession. If it's a full court possession, he has or so now the Knicks are like, all right, we got to have Josh Hart bring the ball up. Okay, we'll just deny the ball. We will deny Jalen the ball. That'll eat up some clock too. So like the Knicks are always in offensive possessions. They're always behind the eight ball with their tempo, and it makes them easy to defend. Now, and so like I just thought throughout the game, like both Dyson, Kuminga, Nikhil, like it was a great defensive effort for pretty much everybody. Even Jalen had some bad stretches, but like overall, I thought he was much better tonight overall. So
Yeah.
like he had some bad stretches. We'll talk about that as well. But like overall, like defensively, like the Hawks were just nails for the majority of the game.
Yeah, and there's still some fruit to be picked too, because like Dyson after the game was talking about how like he's like just thought that the Hawks did a great job like defending the 3-point line, but like there were a couple of times on layups where like they missed like two, three, like there was some layup rotations I think they missed, and then just transition defense, like just you got to switch gears faster. Like they're missing some layups and not processing fast enough that they need to get back. Like there was some stuff second quarter, third quarter where they just actually the third quarter was good. I think it was early fourth. So like second quarter, early fourth quarter where they were just not processing fast enough with their transition defense, and it was leading to some easier opportunities, I think. Glenn, what'd you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, objectively, it was a fun game to watch. And the Hawks would get some space, the Knicks would push back, and kind of get tied or get close. And Knicks are a good team, but the last two possessions by Brunson were just ridiculous. I mean, the next last one he airballed at the basically at the end of the shot clock. Then what I love that the Hawks did on their offensive possession was don't let them set their defense. Go fast. We don't care if we leave them time because if they set their defense, they're going to put five bodies in the paint and we're going to get a terrible shot. So CJ just went fast, right? And he made that shot. And then on the other defensive possession, Cat trucks Dyson with a screen, and
Yes, he
Dyson's on the
did.
floor,
He
right?
hooked him.
Hooray for the last 2 minute report.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
he just flat out like just grabbed him and hooked him, and like it was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. So then, but Anyeka steps up and does a great job not letting Brunson kind of make progress towards the rim. But the other half of that play was Kuminga knew what
Kaminga.
Brunson wanted. He wanted to get to his step back. And so he chased behind him and pushed him into Anyeka and did not let him get to that step back. And then Brunson had no passing lane at all. The pass got deflected. Kuminga busted his tail and got out there and make sure that Josh Hart didn't touch that basketball. And Kuminga was so smart and reactive and just observant of like what he needed to do to not let Brunson get to that step back. and that was Onyeka and Kaminga squeezing him on the baseline was beautiful defense to watch.
Kaminga's been electric on both ends these past two games in particular. Like he has just been absolutely nails. Um, like even the little stuff that he's doing, like and he's communicating like he wants this. And like it's really impressive combined with a real flaw with this Knicks roster is that they don't have a lot of size on their perimeter players. And so Kaminga is often able to like get easy shots at the rim being guarded by smaller, weaker basketball players. Like the only basketball player that can probably guard him is OG Anunoby. And even OG's really struggling to keep him from getting downhill because he's not quick enough anymore. So it's just like they don't really have a guy for Kaminga. Like, and so he's taking advantage of all his matchups on offense, playing smarter, not forcing the issue like he was in game one. Meanwhile, on defense, like it's just been, it's like it's like having another Dyson Daniels, Nikhil Alexander Walker on the floor, and it's massive. Last possession of the game, Knicks have to call timeout. You can get CJ out the game to put Dyson Daniels in the game, and now it's like, who are you going to attack? And that's the functional issue that the Knicks have. They don't have an easy guy to pick. Even there was even one possession where CJ was guarding Jalen Brunson, and like the Hawks, like he stood his ground. He didn't concede anything to Brunson, while also like guys were digging on his pass, his driving lanes, on Jalen's driving lanes, primarily because Jalen's not a prolific passer. And so like I think the issue the Knicks have is twofold. Their two best offensive players aren't great passers, combined with the rest of their roster isn't very good at offensive creation. Like shout out to OG, like he bailed them out. But I think the Hawks would live with OG isoling against Jalen Johnson. Like again, Jalen frustrating in for him considering how well he played overall on both ends. But like I think the Hawks will live with OG having the ISO because his dribble's not that special, and again like he's liable to get ripped as well. So like I just think the Hawks will provide. The Hawks have more answers, and the Knicks are really struggling to figure some stuff out, like what they can and cannot do right now.
Yeah, the Knicks, they don't have a lot of passing and they don't have a lot of like just speed.
There's
There's not a
flow.
lot of athleticism, and I mean they're athletic, but it's not like it's not create an advantage kind of speed, and so it's just a little too deliberate, and so it just a little bit. It's just easier to focus where you have to focus. You're not constantly trying to play whack-a-mole and get in rotation. You can just kind of focus on one task if you can get through the screens. And of course, the Hawks have some of the best players in the NBA at getting through screens. What do you make of like the McBride minutes? Because it seemed like that actually worked better for the Knicks than some of the other stuff. Like when they had Brunson, McBride in together, it felt like they were able to get some better offensive looks. Do you think that's true? I have to go back and look at some numbers and see the plays, but did that help them?
They need another ball handler who could shoot. So I think that was like the biggest thing that McBride brought. At the same time, like, and so I mean, McBride got good looks in these actions, but Brunson didn't get nothing. I don't think it mattered too much with him. And so, like, and a lot of like, I'm watching the game, and maybe I got to rewatch the game. It just felt like a lot of it was McBride and OG isoing, and then scoring in ISO possession. Like McBride, now McBride, I think got a couple catch and shoot threes there, where it was some good penetration from Karl-Anthony Towns in particular. But like overall, I think he's just a more dynamic shooter than Mikal Bridges, and so he offers a little bit more there, combined with being another ball handler. So like, because again, I think Mike Brown is realizing that, oh boy, Jalen Brunson can't create any separation off of Dyson Daniels. We've got to do something else. We got to do something else. And it's too easy for CJ McCollum to hide on Mikal Bridges. Like Mikal's skinny and he doesn't have a great handle. CJ can guard him straight up, and then like You can only run so many actions with Mikal Bridges considering his limitations offensively. And so I think they were like, all right, we got to get another guard player, but there are some downside risks. Like I thought the Hawks were getting great looks every time down the floor when they didn't turn the ball over. Like they were playing the Knicks had to go to they were high trapping with two guards, and like if CJ would just make the basic pass, things would have been fine. But like for whatever reason, CJ was like rushing his decision making. I don't know, but so it was a good look for them. But I think the Hawks, it's a look that the Hawks should be able to adjust to going forward.
Glenn, what are the Hawks getting to when they get to the last 5 minutes and they go without Dyson Daniels for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, except there were some possessions that were clearly uh defense possessions after a timeout.
I mean, I can only speculate here and guess what Quinn's kind of priorities were there. But I think he just wanted better offensive spacing. And Dyson does create some spacing issues. Now there are times he can break the paint, get a pass or whatever, but I mean, he didn't take a lot of shot. I mean, he hit a three tonight, so that was nice to see. But I just think Quinn was like, CJ's gonna have no space to work with if we have Dyson on as a non-shooter. And so it's interesting to punt his defensive value because his defensive value is immense. But I think Quinn was like, no, we've got to roll with an offensive lineup with five players that can create the kind of space we need to make sure CJ can kind of do what he needs to do. And it helped Jalen too. Jalen took a huge step forward tonight from games 1 and 2, and was getting to the rim and being more aggressive and all that sort. He missed too many free throws for sure. But I think Quinn was like, no, we need to prioritize offensive spacing. So Dyson's gonna have to sit, and he's a grown up. He's a good teammate. He understands that the coaches have to make trade-offs, and we talk about that all the time in the podcast. And that was the decision that Quinn made was, well, let's trust Nikhil on Brunson. If we have switchable players on the floor, that's great. That's fine. That helps. But I think the Hawks struggled the first half of the fourth quarter to generate the spacing they needed. And so Quinn was like, "Sorry, Dyson, you gotta take a seat, and because I need a lineup out there that can create the spacing we need."
Tyler, what do
I
you
think
make of? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think it's more. I thought less than even the spacing it was more Dyson's finishing was just not good enough to close the game. Um, he was either passing up layup attempts uh, for like contested 3-point shots, or he was just not finishing at the rim, like not looking to dunk the ball, like I talked about, avoiding contact. And so he was like, all right, one, Kuminga was always going to come back into the game because they need Kuminga on Cat. Like that's just the matchup. That is just the matchup. Like it's the
Two games
best
in a
matchup.
row now. Yep.
So there's nothing else to say about that. So it's going to be like, all right, so who's going to sit between Dyson, Nikhil, and CJ? And I think Quinn was like, even though Dyson was electric on defense, like absolutely dominant on defense, and like good offensively too for the most
Yep.
part, he's just not as polished a finisher as Nikhil or CJ. Like, and CJ and Nikhil have a better jump shot. So he's like, all right, if I'm going to bring Kuminga in, whose shooting is a little bit questionable, but I know you watch the game, multiple possessions where Kuminga is going up against three guys, but he's able to finish at the rim comfortably because he's the bigger player. He's not afraid of contact. He's willing to go up strong with the basketball, whereas Dyson's settling for floaters. He's going to his offhand when he has a dunk attempt against a guard. Like that was Ben Simmonsy a little bit in the fourth quarter. That could have cost him the game. So I think Quinn, I think this is where Dyson has to get better as a finisher. Like he just has to get better as a more physical finisher. Like he cannot rely on his floater for everything, even though it's great. At the same time, uh, like it's a massive win that the Knicks are just putting Jalen Brunson on either Dyson Daniels or Kuminga. And like that's just not sustainable. Like, regardless of how poorly Dyson finished, he's still getting there to the rim. He's still getting good shot attempts. He's just got to make the layup. And so, like, I think Quinn was just like, all right, if Dyson's not making his layups, Kuminga's always going to come back in the game, but I'm going with my better shooters to have better floor spacing overall.
Yeah, those are both really good points. Tyler, what did you going through 3 games here? What do you make of where Nikhil fits in on offense, trying to work with what he's seeing on defense.
So it just like the Knicks are very keyed in on his catch and shoot opportunities. Like they are taking that away, forcing him to be a dribbler, forcing him to drive against good defenders. And so he's just got to make better decisions with the ball in his hands, really, like ultimately. But thought he was better in the second half. It helped that Jalen's getting downhill more consistently. And so like now Nikhil's able to get his offense going a little bit more. Uh, but he doesn't have the matchup. Like he's being guarded by a good defender at all times. Like because the Knicks know if we put Brunson on Nikhil, he's liable to go for like 30 and a half just because of his shot release from his 3-point line combined with he can just be like Jalen Brunson's defense has just been so he's just such food for everybody's just attacking him. Everybody feels comfortable going at him. Doesn't matter who they are, what their level of ability is. Like they are just going right at Jalen Brunson, and he's not holding up. Like they're just able to get to the rim and play off of that. So like I just think that and to the Knicks' immense credit, like they're taking away what the Hawks want to do on offense overall. Like the Hawks aren't able to get to play their brand of basketball. It's a lot of just put your head down, get to the front of the rim, and make the layup. Like it's a lot of that because of how the Knicks are defending the Hawks, because they want to take away the catch and shoot 3-pointers. And so I think that taking that away hurts Nikhil. We'll see if the Knicks continue to play this way. They're going to have to change something because they're just getting CJ is just destroying them. They have to put a good defender on CJ and figure something else out from there. But like it's just it's just food to watch. Whoever Brunson's guard just attacking. Like it's easy offense. Now they didn't finish in the fourth quarter, but like they were still getting good looks, which is more important to me going in the macro sense going forward for this series. Where it's like if Brunson's on the floor, the Hawks are going to get a good shot.
I mean, it's like CJ's mid-range, short-range game is really important because they're cooking Jalen Brunson, but the
Totally.
help is there. The Knicks are very good at filling in the gaps behind him. So the looks at the rim aren't always great because OG, he's and Josh Hart, they really fill in the gaps so that those shots at the rim aren't great quality, even after good drives past Brunson. But you know, if you don't have to go all the way to the rim like CJ can do in a lot of situations, like then beating Brunson is a lot more impactful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, in the regular season, again, there's game to game to game. Your game planning is a shorter cycle, all that sort of stuff. But in this series, like Glenn and the Hawks have figured out how to expose Brunson constantly on defense, just constantly on defense. And normally you see like Josh Hart organizing that or trying to keep, but when the Hawks get a rebound or steal or turn defense and offense, Knicks can't get matched up the way they want to, and they go fast and they create a quick shot at the rim or whatever it might be, or a paint touch and kick out to a 3-point shooter, whatever that might be. And that's how the Hawks won this game tonight, is turning defense into offense, creating turnovers. The Hawks had a good bit of number of turnovers themselves. They were in this fourth quarter, especially, they were pretty careless with the ball the first 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think they got it cleaned up in time so they didn't just kind of give the Knicks a bunch of transition points on the other side too. But thankfully the Knicks didn't shoot the ball from the 3-point line well tonight, but they got felt like a million points in the paint, putbacks and all that sort of stuff. But the Hawks figured out the last few possessions how to force Brunson into shots that weren't comfortable for him. And those last two defensive possessions were like critical to how they won this game.
Tyler, if you're Mike Brown, having seen this game, like what do you want to do next to try to pick at the flaws that the Hawks might have to give New York an advantage?
He's probably going to have to bench Mikal Bridges
It
or
was horrible tonight.
yeah, like Bridges was just miserable. But like he was bad. He's been bad on defense too. Like
Yeah.
that's also an issue for them. Uh, but they do that. They're just going to be really small, and like I think Jalen Johnson is going to take advantage of that. So but like he's got to get more. He has to get more from Mikal Bridges. Uh, he's got to get something offensively from Josh Hart. Josh Hart can't just be an absolute zero on offense at the same time. Like Bridges is going to get a lot of the flack, but Hart wasn't meaningfully better, really on either end of the floor. So like to me, I think he's one going to need his guys to play like a lot better. Uh, from there, he's in a tough spot because Mitchell Robinson isn't giving him much on either end of the floor. Like, I think that's really hurting what the Knicks want to do on both ends. Like, the Hawks are like, brother, we played with Clint Capella for like 18 billion years. We know just to take away the lob. We know how to deal with a guy whose only skill is offensive rebounding on offense. You want to have Mr. Robinson play with the ball 30 feet away from him. We are going to rip the ball from him. Like, we're not going to allow you to dribble. And then on offense, like, we're going to space you out. You're not going to be able to help at the rim. So, like, I think he's got to figure out a way to get Mitchell Robinson to be impactful. Maybe go double big. I don't think double big is an option really for them, just because,
He said something
like,
tonight pregame that he was trying to avoid it.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's very clearly that he's not going to do that anymore.
yeah, because it's like I think the reason is he's scared of the turnovers. Like, I think, oh, okay, I'm really like, because like a primary issue is like they just don't have that much ball handling. They might want to try, I don't know, somebody like Tyler Kolek or somebody else. Like, try somebody else who can dribble on the Knicks, because what he's getting right now uh, from Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and even Josh Hart offensively, it's just not good. Like, it's just not good enough. And so they got to figure out how to get some more ball handling, some more creation. Maybe try a different option at backup center. I don't think they want to do OG at five. They tried that in the fourth quarter. Jalen's just getting to the front of the rim. Now, granted, he's missing his free throws, but like, he's just, Jalen without a center is just automatic 2 feet in the paint. We're getting a good look every time. So it's tough because I just think a lot of the issues is Kuminga is such a, they don't have a counter for him. So um, what I'm guessing is, like, what else can you do but try double big with two guards, maybe with Jalen Brunson uh Brunson and why am I blanking
Bride
on his name?
Alvarado.
Yeah, no, Deuce McBride. Yeah,
Yeah,
go with
McBride.
go with those two, and with OG, and figure it out from there, because like Josh Hart is like not doing anything. Like, it looks good. He's hustling.
Yeah, I mean he was great on like the 50-50 balls, like,
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's
that's
getting
not
every
enough.
well, what he's doing, he's kicking the ball to himself. First play of the game, Hawks get a turnover. He kicks the ball to himself. They don't call it. I'm like, what are we doing? Is this how we're going to call the game? Like, I would like for these referees to start calling Knicks players for violations. Let's go already. Like, enough. Maybe that'll help, because I think Nikhil's hurt by how much they're able to hold him off the ball. Meanwhile, the Hawks have to be super careful about where their hands are. They got to be super careful not to uh, appear to even trip somebody when they're shooting. So it's kind of nonsense. Like, it's tough that Quinn had to use two of his challenges when there were multiple plays he could have challenged as well to take points off the board, because the Knicks are just like, we're going to give them you know every call. Meanwhile, I'm watching Jalen getting whacked going to the rim, no call after no call. And credit to Jalen. Like, I know, again, we talk about the flaws, but like, he kept at it. He kept going to the rim. He did not get deterred about not getting the call, including on the last one when he tried to dunk on Cat. Cat clearly fouls him, pushes him off the spot. That was not a clear contest. Didn't matter. Jalen had enough momentum to get the ball. to finish the play. Should have been an and one because he got fouled on the putback. But it's credit to him for like keeping getting downhill, keep attacking. Because like eventually the dam is going to break. The refs aren't going to continue to not call Karl-Anthony Towns for fouls. Like he's not a good rim protector. And so like his rim protecting numbers are looking pretty good against the Hawks, but he's just getting away with it. And so like if the Hawks keep putting that pressure on him, the dam will eventually break.
I agree. Like Jalen took 19 shots, six of them were three, so that's like 13 other shots. Like he was not settling for the mid range. They were all forceful drives. Like that's exactly what you want from Jalen Johnson. The whistle was kind of disrespectful, just in that like I guess if you say that's a playoff whistle, like that's fine, but it didn't seem like that was the case for everybody across the board because it felt like the guards, all the small guards, if they were driving into a similar level of contact, they were getting that call every time while Jalen was getting annihilated. And he was a battering ram. It was really impressive.
Yeah, and it still continues to impress me that the officiating got the first half. I thought it was totally fine. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
started calling some more soft fouls in the second half, so the baseline changed a little bit. But you just gotta you have to recognize that's happening and calibrate to it. Understand, like, okay, well, they're not gonna let me hack him on the arm when he's taking a shot or whatever. But Jalen looked like a player who someone sort of had a heart to heart was like, we need more from you. We need you to be more aggressive. We need you to not be afraid of contact because that was a completely different version of Jalen we watched play basketball tonight.
Yep.
And he took a beating. Like that might impact him in game four. Like he sprained his ankle. He was all iced up afterwards. Like I don't doubt that level of contact might have some lingering effects later. Like it's would be a perfectly reasonable thing, but at least he's seeing it and he's getting it. Like if you look at just the entirety of this Hawks season and you look at what happened at the trade deadline where they were trading away pieces for picks and prioritizing the future, it's like, okay, well, maybe the Hawks, you know, aren't about the now because they're such a young team. But what are you going to get out of this season? You're going to get Jalen Johnson into a playoff series, and he's seeing it and he's processing it and he's taking steps forward. And I think that's, if you look at what are your goals for this season as a Hawks team, like that's a big one. Get Jalen in the playoffs, let him see what it's like, let him play through it and learn from it and get better at it. And you could see through three games like a progression happening. So if he can keep it going and he can stay healthy, it's they're checking off a big box for what they really needed to get out of this season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's interesting. Like, I mean, the question for you guys is, how are you feeling about the series overall now? Do you feel like the Hawks have a 50-50 shot to win the series? Like, or are we just gonna kind of watch close games that go down to the final possessions, like, consistently? Um, the Hawks have been the better team the last two games. The Knicks fought back tonight in a way they didn't in the fourth quarter in game two. The Knicks are not going to stop working hard and trying to kind of do what they do, but I mean, Dyson has made Brunson's life a living hell. Like, I mean, he just doesn't know what to do with him, and that's a huge factor here. And when you watch the Knicks play, like after that last shot, and they were walking off the court, like one player went to Brunson and just kind of patted him on the back. Like one player did that. One player, right? And so like the vibes just look weird, and they're like, okay, Jalen was just trying to get to his step back. He got trapped, didn't have a passing lane, tried to force the ball to Josh Hart. It got tipped, and I'm assuming that's the play that Mike Brown drew up. Like, and he did say post game, I saw on Twitter that they wanted him switched onto a Kongwu, but Kuminga trapped it and gave him no space, like we talked about a few minutes ago. So the game on Saturday is gonna be really interesting to see if the Knicks do anything different. If they're like, yeah, this isn't working, we need to come up with something else. And it takes me all the way back to when the Hawks were playing the Celtics in the playoffs. I forgot what year it was. Is 1 or 2 years after their 60-win season, and after two losses, Brad Stevens said nothing's working. We got to get Isaiah Thomas off the ball, and we've got to find a different way of doing things. Hawks ended up winning that series, but he was smart enough to say this isn't working. Does Mike Brown have the sway and the ability as a leader to say we need to reinvent like how we're doing things? Do we need to make major changes? Can he do that? Can with this roster? I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see if they look the same on Saturday or if we see something different.
I mean, I
It,
asked
it's
Tyler
not,
that question. Do you have an opinion on like if you're the Knicks coach, if you're Mike Brown, what would you do?
I don't know. Didn't I answer that earlier
No, I'm
about
asking. I'm
is that
asking Glenn.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
I asked you.
yeah, no, yeah. So I mean,
We're all
I think for
tired.
me, yeah, yeah. No, so step one is you start Brunson off ball, you get him a down screen, like you don't let the Hawks top lock him. He conserves some energy by not dribbling the ball off the court every single time, and so there's some energy conservation that you can plan into and design into for him to make him not exhausted in the fourth quarter, right? But I mean, but Tyson just pushes him around like the whole game. He just pushes him around the whole game. So there are things you can do, I think, to kind of create a different point of leverage for him. But that said, like, I mean, how many possessions in this series, it's across three games, have we seen him dribble the shot clock all the way down to five and like nobody else touches the basketball? Like he does that all the time.
That's not new to this series or this season. Like
No,
we're going back
no.
multiple years with this problem.
Yeah, and going back to the last two possessions where he got the air ball and he got trapped, he was exhausted. He was flat exhausted, right? And I get it. I understand he's a smaller guy. It's a little bit of a thing which the trade would deal with when the trade would in a playoff setting. Um, when Trey would get pushed around, and it's hard for a guy who's 6 foot 6'1", whatever. Jalen Brunson's probably 5'11" or something like that. I don't know how tall he is, but yeah, no. For me, not an NBA coach, right? But I understand principles, concepts, all that sort of stuff. Is like you've got to get him off ball in the beginning of possession sometimes and give him a better point of leverage in a DHO. But they don't really use a DHO. I mean, rarely. I mean, which is
Because
weird.
I feel
they
like
don't
they did
trust.
more in game one.
Yeah, but
Some,
I
but
I feel like they don't trust their bigs to make the pass. Like they did in game one, and Carl Towns had like 5 turnovers, and they're
Yes,
like,
that's right.
we
Yeah.
cannot play like this. We cannot do this. We don't trust Cat to make the right decision. And he's not like the problem is like their bigs are weak with the ball. Like they're not
yep,
strong with the basketball.
yep.
So they can't really rely on running DHO actions too often. They really like there's some real limitations with the Knicks roster, and this is kind of the thing I want to talk about because it was like the one thing I disagreed with when Brad had Fred Katz on his show is when he said the Knicks had more top end talent, and I'm just like, I don't see that. If you didn't know who Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns were, there's no way you could say the Knicks are the more talented basketball team. The Hawks are just throwing wave after wave of elite athlete at the
Yep.
Knicks, and the
Yep.
Knicks are countering with the slowest guys in the
Yep.
NBA. Like
Yeah, and
sometimes,
like you go crawl like OG. I love OG, but when he gets chased off the 3 point line, his dribble is straight. There's no wiggle to it at all. It's just a straight line drive. Same for Mikal Bridges. Bridges will try to get to a step back, but a lot of times it's his body kind of floating across the lane. And so they don't have creators outside of Brunson, and Dyson is making Brunson's life miserable, and that's where we are in the series right now.
Any closing thoughts here as we run out of time, Tyler?
give a Okongwu his flowers, Hawks fans, please.
Yes,
Like, oh my God.
so good
And
tonight.
to me, been the best player in the series, full stop. Like I know other guys are getting the numbers, but he's been absolutely nails every
I mean,
step.
I still believe in Mitchell Robinson, but like the Hawks are trying to get Onyeka Okongwu on him, and he like that's just an unfair matchup. Like Onyeka's winning it.
He is. He's doing great.
All right, very good. Well, let's end with that. I thank you for joining me very late at night, and hopefully we can do this again soon after Game 4. Good night, Bob.
Hey,
Good
Bob.
night, Bob.